Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our Wednesday weather update for New Zealand, Australia, and the South Pacific Islands. And all of our weather is connected at the moment, so let's explain it. We've got two areas of high pressure and two areas of low pressure to focus on. The two highs, the first one is out here to the east, quite a big one. The second one is going to get even stronger out here around Tasmania. We've got a weak area of low pressure in the New Zealand area and a developing area of low pressure up around the Coral Sea. Now you've got this big airflow coming out of the first high right up into the tropics. You can see here Viti Levu blocking the southeasterly flow. So over on the Nandi side, it's a lot calmer, and similar story up here around Vanuatu, some of the volcanoes blocking that airflow as it moves on through. But otherwise, pretty much the usual easterly flow up there. And over in Australia, the second high is about to move on through towards New Zealand, and that's got the southerly flow coming up in towards Queensland. But over in New Zealand, right where I am, we've got low pressure, and that is driving in more rain and snow. But that big high from Australia, it is on its way towards us for this weekend. But before it arrives, we do have more rain falling. This is the 2-day rainfall from 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning. The bulk of the rain in central New Zealand around Wellington and Kaikoura, where you're talking about another 50 millimetres or so, which isn't too bad spread out over 2 days. And the good news down here where there's been flooding, we're only talking about a few more showers coming through. We've got a bit of snow as well. This is the same time frame. Heavier snow. No surprise, it's where the heaviest rain is. So up in the mountains near Kaikoura, maybe another 25 centimetres of snow falling there. But further down, we're talking about just a trace, 0.1 to 1 centimetre. And good news for Mount Turupehu, there could be a few snow flurries there for the next few days ahead. Maybe 1 or 2 flurries also impacting the desert road. And over in Australia, plenty of rain on the way for you. This is the 5-day rainfall from 5 o'clock this morning. Biggest totals out here along the eastern side of Queensland, right along the coast, where you're getting up to about 90 millimetres of rain, and another heavy burst just south of Perth as well. That's for the next 5 days ahead. So here we are for Thursday. There is that big high. That is the main feature of our weather map at the moment for both New Zealand and Australia, because this high controls the airflow coming up, it works with this developing low, and it blocks its movement, which means that's why the rainfall in this area is quite high. And it's also the reason why New Zealand's got the southerly flow, made a little worse by that low pressure zone, that weak area of low pressure, but it's not too weak. It's got enough energy in it to really ramp up the winds here. So strong to gale force southerlies coming into Wellington. A wintry day on Thursday for this part of the country, the central part of New Zealand. But everybody really will notice the temperature drop because it's really a southerly flow right up and across New Zealand. And it stays that way into Friday as well. The southerlies carry on, the showers are mostly on the eastern side, but that high is slowly moving in towards us, which means frosty weather is going to become more of a feature around the South Island. And that low up here in the Coral Sea moving towards the Tasman Sea and still deepening, and with the high, we've got that squash zone between low and high pressure where the isobars squeeze up. So windy for you as well. That's an easterly flow, but in New Zealand, that southerly really carries on. So this weekend, things start to change a bit in New Zealand. The high moves through, big frosts in the South Island, could be -6s and -7s for some of you through the alpine areas, and around freezing and -1 for the more coastal areas. So not too bad really. The high pressure comes in, it'll be very welcome after the flooding you've just had. Now further to the north, because of that placement of the high, easterly winds and northeasterly winds will start to develop in the north of the country as that low deepens. Now the low is moving out to sea, so it's taking a lot of the rain with it if you're in Australia, but showers will carry on there for you as we go in towards the weekend. Now as we go into Sunday, that low deepens even further out on the Tasman, and the high still pretty strong, now just moving out to the east of the country. That encourages a northeasterly flow, which will slowly move across the country. And as the low moves out into the Tasman on Sunday, most of that rain starts to clear away from the eastern side of Australia. But we do have a bit more rain on the way. This is the 2-day rainfall map from 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. So that next system from Australia is going to bring another burst of rain to the top of the country. Talking about another maybe 90 millimetres or more for the very top of New Zealand, and in the pink and purple zones, 40 to 60 millimetres for these northern areas. And remember, they've just had a fair amount of rain. So this is good for the reservoirs and things like that, but some of you might be getting a little bit sick of it, but it's really good after 5 years of a rainfall deficit. And our final map for Monday shows The big high and the big low. The big high to the east, the big low to the west. It's not overly stormy at 993 hectopascals, but it's encouraging this airflow from around Fiji and Tonga straight down into the North Island, and there could be gales around on Monday in that squash zone between the high and the low itself. So yeah, we've got a little bit to come through still, and then that system's going to move across New Zealand at the start of next week, or at least bring in some wind and rain behind that high. It's that time of year. We do get weather like this at this time of the year. That is all from me. I'll be back again tomorrow. For more information between now and then, please visit weatherwatch.co.nz or ruralweather.co.nz.